So you're looking to make a move to Arizona and you're curious, where's the most affordable place to live in Metro Phoenix? Well, this video is going to answer all that. I know what you're thinking. This guy's covered in tattoos. He's wearing a backwards hat. He must be a schlum. But I promise you, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing real estate for a long time. I've sold hundreds of homes, won many awards. This is just how I'm comfortable, okay? That's all. Just, don't judge a book by its cover. Let's just get to the video and talk about what's affordable, what part of town do you want to live in, east side, west side, what's important to you, what are your goals, what do you want access to, and what do you want to pay? Okay, so what I want to do is actually dive into the MLS, which is like the professional Zillow. It's what all agents use to list and sell properties. And so we can actually look at the real stuff. I'm not just going to throw up stats that I could make up or throw out theoreticals on the screen. Let's look at what are prices in certain areas of Phoenix. And so I have certain parameters set up right now, and you can see it. It's single family detached. There's not going to be condos, manufactured homes, things like that. But condos could be a really good option if you are looking for affordability. Problem with condos is typically you have a higher HOA. So your payment doesn't actually, it kind of depends on the condo, but typically that higher HOA kind of makes up for that price break. So you might as well go single family instead of going condo. Just kind of depends on the condo. They're all very different. So currently in Metro Phoenix, we have 3,410 single family homes priced under $400,000. Now the reason why I did $400,000 is because this is typically, your first time home buyer, something affordable. You're looking under $400,000. Now, I don't know if this video is going to be evergreen, meaning rates are going to change, affordability is going to change. So, but as it stands right now of October 1st of 2024, $400,000 from my experience is kind of that first time home buyer price point, entry level price point, right? Someone just looking best bang for your buck. So first town, let's look at Peoria. So if we're looking at Metro Phoenix as a whole, Peoria up here, kind of the northwestern part of Metro Phoenix. A lot of cool stuff going on in Peoria, by the way. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of construction up this 101. Just doing a lot of building out here. Just a lot of cool things are coming to the West Valley. But Peoria is a really cool option. One, because you get a lot of that newer stuff. Well, I'm pretty jealous about it. I live in the East Valley. But a lot of these homes are going to be built. So you get to these older homes, but you're going to get homes built like 90s, probably 2000s. Here we go. But if we look at it, so this is priced at 300. That's going to be that's not a good one. So 339.6, 1,300 square feet, built in 82, 8,000 square foot lot, right? So I just want to give you some like real info here on what's going to be the most affordable parts of Phoenix to live in, right? So if you're looking under $400,000, you're probably going to get something that looks a little more basic, right? It's not going to be done up to the nines, but is it livable? Is it something that you can get into and start building appreciation long term? For sure. Now this is 340 basically. This price point is absolutely brutal. It's tough to get into because it is affordable. And there's a lot of discussions around affordability when it comes to Metro Phoenix, right? And it's getting a little out of hand. And so this price point under the $400,000 price point is getting very, very competitive. Now I know a lot of these don't really look like absolute bangers because we're in that mid 300s, but if we go to let's say closer to 400, 389, get a nice tile roof, stucco house, upgraded floors, LVP, got granite in there, painted cabinets. This one's priced at $394.9. Basic flooring, granite countertops. But if you're looking at an entry price point, the goal is just to get into something. That's the end goal, because you want to start building appreciation and you want to start paying down that debt service, right? So you get appreciation and you're paying down your loan over time. And then you can eventually either pull a HELOC, refi, take that equity you have and roll it into another house or roll it into an investment property and slowly build wealth, right? But this is your main vehicle of investing in real estate, is just getting in your first house. If you can do that, you're off to a great start, especially at this price point, because they make for better long-term holds if you're into that idea. So this one even has a pool at $395, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so this is Peoria, Arizona. Well, that is a situation here. You got two sliders. They looks like they converted the garage. Absolutely wild idea here. Strongly dislike that. So let's say you want to avoid all that crazy stuff. There's some good ones in here. $399.9, stucco tile. Looks cute. Let's see what the inside's like. Just tile floors, quartz countertops, painted cabinets, light and bright. It's cute. It's cute. So Peoria, Arizona, first on my list. Okay, next on the list is probably one of my personal favorites. One, because it's closer to me than Peoria is. And two, because if we look at, so this is called Santan Valley. And if we kind of zoom out a little bit, and we can see the growth of the city moving in this direction. So Queen Creek has exploded over the last 5-6 years, this part of town right here. And so it's only expanding out this way. Now, we have mountains here, so you can't build there. You have to go in this direction. And so for long term, Santan Valley is an amazing, amazing option. Now, the problem with Santan is there's no easy freeway access. And this is the biggest complaint. This is my main complaint. And I live in East Mesa over here. If you want to get to the airport, let's say, probably in 50-minute drive, hour drive, depending on traffic. So when it comes to lifestyle, this kind of depends on where you want to be. If you're going to be, if you're someone that likes to go out, right, and you want to go out Friday, Saturday nights, you want to go to Scottsdale or something like that, it's going to be a hike, and you want to take an Uber, it's going to be one expensive Uber to get to Old Town from Santan Valley. Now, the best part about Santan Valley is going to be the affordability. And what's also really cool about Santan Valley is you have quick access to Queen Creek, and Queen Creek has exploded over the last few years. And so a lot of the, let's say, shopping complexes and things like that, they're all new. Like, they're all built very, very recently. And so the feeling you get inside of Queen Creek is it's very fresh, right? The roads are, I mean, the road infrastructure is kind of a nightmare because it's Queen Creek got too big too fast. And so the infrastructure is a little wonky. So it could be the little traffic. So there could be some traffic in Queen Creek that you might not be used to, that you might not like. But everything inside of it's just going to have that nice new feeling where, you know, if you get into, let's say, like Phoenix, a lot of that stuff was built in the 40s, 50s, 60s. So you have a lot of rundown type things. You don't get that in Queen Creek. So the nice thing about Santan Valley is you have access to all this cool stuff that's right down the road from you. But again, depending on your lifestyle, it might not be the best option just because of access. Like, you're on the edge of town here, but affordability is amazing. Let's look at some houses. $275, this seems cheap. Let's see what this is about. Yeah, this is an investment house. Let's ignore that. $315. Nice and clean, you know, nice and clean. I've sold this floor plan many times. $330. All right, like, super decent. It's livable, right? Something you can get inside of, start building appreciation. $316, stucco tile. It's original, small yard, but again, $316, like, hard to beat that price point. Really hard to beat that price point. So $350. You know, original cabinets, original countertops, stucco tile, $339.9. When I say stucco tile, outside is stucco, roof is tile. All right, 2 different floorings, don't love it, right? Boom, 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 a lot of transition there. But is it something that's livable, that's super decent, clean? For under $350, like, gosh, tough to beat, tough to beat. So that's why Santan's number 2 on my list. I think it's a really tough one to beat for long-term appreciation, for access to Queen Creek, for home prices. Santan Valley is number 1 on my list. Okay, number 3 is gonna be Maricopa. Now, Maricopa is a little outside of Metro, and you take this freeway here, 347, to get there. Now, I have my parameters set at under 400, and in Peoria, it was like 141. In Santan Valley, there was 170. In Maricopa, there's 330 homes available, under $400,000. Now, there's a lot of cons with Maricopa. One being access. So you basically have 1 or 2 ways to get in, which means there's a lot of traffic, especially from 9 to 5. So if you have a 9 to 5 and you got to go into town, a lot of traffic out, a lot of traffic in. And when you come into Maricopa, there's this light right here. This is a street light, which causes a lot of backup on this highway. So coming in, a lot of traffic. But when it comes to affordability, now let's say you work in Chandler. This is gonna be an easier drive than coming from Santan Valley, right? So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to your location where you wanna be in your lifestyle. Downtown Chandler, really cool place to go grab drinks. There's a lot of breweries, things of that nature if you're into that kind of a thing. So Maricopa, you're gonna have quicker access than, let's say, a Santan Valley. So it just kind of depends on where you wanna be. But Maricopa has 330 homes under $400,000. Let's look at some of them. Okay, so $299 stucco tile. We have yet to see a $299 stucco tile house. So it's a little dirty, right? It's 300 grand. Wouldn't expect anything less. Not the best listing. I bet it was like an old rental, something like that. Don't know what's going on there. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's a dirty house. Let's look at this one. Also $299, under $300,000. Also dirty. Just don't care. But for 300 grand, maybe you can get into something, you know? Silver lining here. Silver lining. This is 305 basically. It's a basic house. But we're talking about $300,000, right? And what's cool about Maricopa, I mean, depending on if you're a buyer or seller, if you're a buyer in Maricopa, what's cool is there's 333 listings, which means there's not a lot of demand in Maricopa, which means that buyers have the leverage, which means when you write an offer, let's say this one at 305, right? We look at days on market. It's been on the market 49 days. I know that they want to sell it. Oh wait, this one's 10. So this is a bad example. But typically, there's going to be more days on market where we can go in and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I want to buy your house, but I'm only going to pay you $280 or whatever it is, right? You can structure a better offer for you as a buyer when you have 333 listings under $400,000 in this confined space of Maricopa. It gives the buyer a lot of leverage. Okay, fourth on my list is going to be Buckeye. Now, if we look at Metro Phoenix, where is Buckeye? West. It's very west as you can get. There's been a lot of construction over the last 4 or 5 years out this way when it comes to new homes because you have to move out this way. Here you have amazing freeway access. So if you're more, let's say you're relocating or you're on the west side, you like the west side better and you want affordability, Buckeye is the place to go. You have easy access to the 10, right? So depending on where you want to go, now you're still deep, right? But you have freeway access, which is significantly different than a Santan Valley where you don't have freeway access. You're all surface streets. So to get anywhere in the West Valley, significantly easier when you're in Buckeye. If you want to go to the Cardinals game, if you want to go to Westgate and see the Cardinals or whatever's out here. If you want to go to the World Wildlife Zoo, right, or maybe if it'll load, it's right here. I can see it. Just depending on lifestyle. But you have good freeway access. You have 205 homes under $400,000, so not quite like Maricopa. Maricopa is going to take the cake on that, just because of location on that. But if we look at some of the homes, 325, let's say 355 stucco tile, right? So very in line with what we saw in Peoria, Santan Valley. Very, very similar when it comes to price point and style of home. And we've seen something similar, right? You're just going to have something a little more basic. These cabinets are wild. We have one at 342. Just going to be basic, right? But those homes are going to look very similar to the homes we already saw, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. But if you're more of a West Valley, Buckeye is an incredible option for affordability. Okay, last but not least, and if any Arizona native watches this, I'm probably going to get roasted, but it's going to be Florence. And Florence is a little deeper than Santan Valley, so you're out here for sure. You are out here. But there's going to be an extension of this 24 in the future, which might make it a little bit easier. Unknown right now, but when it comes to affordability, Florence is tough to beat. It's right up there with like a Maricopa. It just depends on what's important to you. Is it your mortgage payment being cheaper, or is access to your lifestyle top priority? But you're going to be able to get some really good deals out here. 300 stucco tile, in line with everything we've seen, right? We're going like, that's really ugly, but you kind of get the point. It's going to be all original. I mean, the idea is for it to be affordable, right? You want something that you don't want to break the bank with. This is 300, right? You get granite countertops, you get LPP flooring. I mean, it's tiny, but it's decent, right? So then you go, what's more important? Is the condition of the house more important than square footage? Are you willing to sacrifice square footage for a better house? So again, it's super relative to what you guys want. Every single buyer is going to be different. What's important to them? Sometimes they got 3 kids and they're like, hey, we need square footage. I'm like, I get it, bro. I get it. This is going to be built by Starlight. Let's see, DR. It's a DR Horton. Okay, so those are my top 5. We got Peoria, Santan Valley, Maricopa, Buckeye, Florence. In my opinion, if you want to be in Metro Phoenix, the most affordable spots to be are there. Not to mention, when you go to the outskirts of town, you have more leverage as a buyer because homes sit on the market longer and sellers want to sell, right? They want to go somewhere. So when a buyer comes in and says, hey, I want to buy your house, and they've been on the market for 3 months, they'll entertain any offer. So as a buyer, you can go and say, hey, I'm going to beat you up a little bit on price and terms and concessions and all these things where you can get a better deal and you can buy down your interest rate and you can do things to save tens of thousands of dollars in your pocket by just going to the outskirts. So if you're good driving and you're okay and your lifestyle doesn't dictate that you go in and out of town all the time or driving, for a long ways, outskirts, affordability, those are my top 5. Again, I am a licensed realtor. I've been doing this a long time, sold hundreds of homes, won many awards, and do all the things. Like, subscribe. If you have any questions, if you want access to my website, which is going to be slightly better than like a Zillow or a Redfin, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, then all those other sites out there, it's going to be a little bit more accurate. Leave a comment, just say, hey, I want access. Just trying to help as many people as I can. If I can help you buy a house, if you have questions, whatever it might be, just let me know. That's all I got. See you guys.